We understand how hard it is to see a loved one go through a hard time. Supporting someone is very important, but it can be hard to know what to say. Don't worry. Helping other people can be easy if you know what to do. That's why we wrote a solid guide on how to provide help. With these simple tips, you can get through tough times with people in your circle. Allow us to look at these ideas for giving a hand. Section 1. Understanding what to express. 1. Inquire about their emotions. Starting a chat by asking how someone is feeling is a good way to get them to talk. It can be helpful to let people share a wide range of emotions because emotions are complicated and multifaceted, especially during hard times. For example, if a parent dies after a long and painful illness, the person may feel sad, glad that the pain is over, and guilty for feeling relieved. Because these feelings are so complicated, it can be hard for people to say what they're thinking right away. You can help them, though, by giving them a place to talk and guiding them through these complicated thoughts. 2. Recognize what's bothering them. Even if you know what the problem is, you might want to avoid dealing with it directly. For example, if someone has recently lost a loved one or gone through a serious breakup, you might not want to bring it up because you think it will make their mental pain worse. It's important to remember, though, that the person is probably already aware of what's going on and is probably thinking about it. Speaking up about your worry in an honest way shows that you care and are ready to face the problem with them, which could make them feel better. You could start by saying something like, "I heard that your father died. That must have been very hard. Do you want to talk about it?" 3. Focus on them and what they're going through. You might want to think about how their present situation is similar to something you've been through yourself in the past. It's important to remember, though, that not everyone wants to hear about your personal problems when they're having a hard time. Some people would rather focus on how they're feeling right now and the present moment, where they can find understanding and support. 4. Avoid immediately shifting the talk to something positive. People often want to make others feel better by telling them to think about the good things in a situation. But this way of talking might make the other person feel like you're ignoring their problems and making their feelings less important. It's better to just listen and help them get through their sadness than to try to find good things in their bad situations. Also, don't say things like, "get over it," or, "well, at least you're still alive." It's okay to feel bad. You're going through a hard time is one way to show care when you feel the need to say something. Section 2. Becoming a good listener. 1. Realize that they just want someone to listen. People who are having a hard time often just need someone to listen. It's best not to jump in or give solutions right away. At the end of the chat, there may be a chance to talk about possible solutions. But right now, the most important thing is to just listen. To let them know you get it, as an example of active hearing, try rephrasing what the other person is saying. To give an example, you could say something like, "I hear you're mad that your friend wasn't paying attention to you." 3. Avoid getting sidetracked. Don't get off track. Don't bring up other things. Stay focused by not doing things like watching TV or checking your phone all the time. Try to keep your mind off of what you want to say next so you can stay focused. Focus instead on listening carefully and making sure you understand what the other person is saying. 4. Show you're listening with your body language. Make eye contact with the person to show that you are paying attention. When someone talks, nod your head and make facial movements like smiling or frowning to show that you understand and care. Keep your body language open and responsive. Don't cross your legs and arms. Instead, turn your body to face the other person to show that you are interested in what they are saying. Section 3. Ending the talk. 1. Recognize when you can't change things. A lot of people find it hard to figure out how to help a friend who is having a hard time. It's normal to not know what to say in these kinds of scenarios. But there are times when just saying you understand without giving answers is enough. Saying something like, "I'm so sorry you're going through this," can show that you understand. Even though words might not help, you can let them know you're there for them with a statement like, "I want you to know that I'm here for you if you need me." 2. Give a comforting hug. Even though giving someone a hug can be helpful, It's important to make sure they agree to it first, since some people may not feel safe with touch after a traumatic event. You should politely ask ahead of time and say something like, "I'd like to hug you. Is that okay with you?" 3. Inquire about what happens next. Making a plan can give people a sense of control and relief, even if they don't have instant answers to their problems. If it looks like they don't know what to do, make some suggestions in a gentle way. Instead, if they already have ideas, help them talk about and write down their plans for what they want to do next. 4. Suggest considering therapy. If your friend is having a hard time, you can ask them nicely if they've thought about seeing a counselor for help. Counseling has a bad reputation that isn't fair, but talking to a trained professional can help, especially if your friend has been having problems for a long time. You should talk to your friend about any unfair shame they may be feeling about seeing a psychologist and tell them that it's okay to ask for help. Making it clear that you'll still see them the same way, even if they ask for help, can help break down any bad ideas. 5. Inquire if there's anything you can help with. For example, you can help someone who needs to talk by having regular chats with them or sometimes having breakfast with them. Giving someone help with difficult jobs, like getting a death certificate for a loved one, is another way to lend a hand. For more information about what the other person wants, start a talk with them. If they don't want to ask for help, you can give them specific ideas by saying, "I'd love to be able to help. Here are some things I can do to help. I can take you somewhere or bring you food. Tell me what you need." 6. Show genuine feelings. It is very important to keep your promises when you say you will support or help someone. If you say, "Feel free to call me and talk anytime," you should be ready to stop what you're doing and talk. Just as important is showing that you can be relied on by keeping your promises, like getting them to therapy when you said you would. 7. See how they're doing later on. Many people find it hard to ask for help, especially when it comes to their mental health. So it's important to check in with them every so often. It's important to be there for them and help them whenever they need it.